today on this lovely Friday.
I know. You got to get it in early so we can have our martinis and quarantine.
Mm-hmm. I'm definitely excited for that. I need a nice glass of wine later.
Seriously. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, Chelsea, why don't you explain exactly what it is that you do to our followers?
Sure. So basically by day, I am a marketing consultant. And a lot of people are like, what is that? And I'm basically a translator for businesses. So I really built my career over the past 12 years when the internet was kind of transitioning.
Right.
So I started in sales, I went into marketing and events, and then eventually branched out on my own. So I really specialize in like the conversion rates online sales generation type of thing. And then I also have a motivational podcast on
that's great.
Spotify, and I also have a blog.
Oh, wow. So like we spoke to Allie Hirschman yesterday, you're a jack of all trades as well. So you do a lot.
Yeah.
You tell me your idea behind your podcast.
So basically my podcast is all about, well, I guess to walk it back, like 2.5 years ago, I lost 50 pounds. And that really inspired me to start sharing my tips, like wellness and weight loss and health. And at the time I was working full time. So I didn't really have a lot of time to like be blogging every day.
Yeah.
So I started to podcast to make it easier to like connect with people. I could be like talking and like working, and it just was kind of like a hobby, but it's turned into like a real thing now. So
that's great. What's the name of your podcast?
My podcast is Chelsea Swift is Your Spirit Animal, and that's on Pandora, Apple, and Spotify.
Okay, I love that. Especially a lot of people right now are choosing to listen to podcasts because there's only so much Netflix and Hulu we can watch. So that's great.
Yeah, and honestly, it's so like it's all your moods. So basically, it's not just like health. It's not just like mentality. It's all about keeping your mind in the game, really, learning how to reset, learning how to get back into your passion, staying on track, pushing past the diet for more than 3 days, but also keeping you sane while you work or while you hit the gym or whatever.
I feel like a lot of us need that right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Ever since, unfortunately, we've been quarantined, but for safety reasons, which has been great. We're all doing our part in flattening the curve. Have you noticed a change in people with remaining positive?
Have I noticed a change in,
and people remaining positive through this time? Have you seen more of a shift towards people going negative rather than staying positive? And how are you helping people remain positive through this?
So I feel like it really depends on your background. If you're used to being at home, if you're used to working remote, I think the adjustment is a little bit easier. But what I really noticed is it kind of went from like people didn't have a lot of time. I'm so busy, I'm overworked. Yeah. Everyone was posting like, I wish I was on a yacht right now.
Ashley.
Now, all of a sudden, everybody's like, oh, like now that we have this time, what do we do with it?
Right.
That's what I've noticed is like, it's almost like, here's all this time. And people are like, I don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, it's really crazy. People aren't used to it.
Yeah.
So what has been keeping you sane through this time?
I think just basically like keeping a schedule.
Okay.
And definitely like, I'm like more of like a mindset person. I get up, I don't touch my phone for the first hour of the day. That's so important. Like really allow yourself to harness in on your own energy before you give your energy to everybody else or anybody else like on your phone scrolling, because then you haven't had a time to really collect and connect with yourself. So that's something that I do every morning. I was already doing that, but it's something I really think would help a lot of people.
Did that take some getting used to not just reach for your phone right in the morning?
Oh yeah. I have to, I'll take like whatever tank top I was wearing to bed. I take it off right away. I throw it over my phone. I know that sounds weird, but I can't look at it. I'm like, no, don't make eye contact with it.
Right. Oh my goodness. Maybe I need to try. I always reach for my phone in the morning now with all the news, but maybe I need to stop doing that.
Yeah, no, I was so bad at it for so long. I would just get up, go right on my email. I'd be like talking to people. I'm like not even out of bed. I'm like, I need to stop.
Right, Ashley, she is the owner of Vegas. She's like, great, but so hard advice. So I feel like it's definitely you have to train yourself.
Oh yeah, you'll have
Yeah.
to train yourself. You'll do it for like 15 minutes and be like, I can't take it anymore. But it's worth waking up the extra, 30 minutes or an hour and just saying like, this is my time to collect my thoughts and really write down, what are you grateful for? What do you focus on today? What's your most important task? And it helps me stay on track, really.
So then you start to journal after you wake up in the morning. Is that like a part of your morning routine?
Yeah. So I keep a book by my bed and then
Okay.
like my journal. So I basically, when I wake up in the morning, I always just journal in, okay, what are we doing today?
Mm-hmm.
Any type of thoughts I'm having from a dream, whatever. It's just good to just let it all out, refocus for the day. Here's what I'm doing. I'm really focused on this. I'm going to go ahead, do this exercise today. It could be something so simple, but it really does set you up for success.
Okay, that's great advice. And do you have an exercise that you would like to walk us through or something about remaining positive? I know that we all really need that right now. Some people
Yeah,
are so negative that they hear the word positive and they're like, it's not happening. So
I know.
that we need to talk to.
Yeah, no, I know. And the thing that's so funny is I always hesitate to like try to push positivity on people because I know it can be annoying that I'm that person that would like walk into the office and be like, Happy Tuesday, Happy Wednesday. And I had a coworker
People
one
with
time.
their coffees are like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm that person. And somebody asked me one time, like one of my coworkers was like, are you really happy? And I'm like, what other choice do you have? Like that's my vibe. So I guess one of the exercises that I can give you today is kind of like reset your vibe. So
Okay.
on a piece of paper, you can do this. Look up a quote really quick. One of the best things that you can do is write down a positive quote from somebody that you really, really admire. So you can write it down like, think only of love for everyone and others. And if you write that down and then you actually write underneath it over again, but you're going to write it as an I am affirmation.
Oh,
So
okay.
say, I am love and light, and I only think of love and light for myself and others. And that totally starts to reset your vibe because now you're working on a conscious level and a subconscious level. So sometimes when we say something positive, it doesn't resonate because your brain's like, why are you lying to me? Like,
Right.
why are you saying it's a great day? You have to kind of embody it and kind of take it as like taking ownership for it. So when you say something like, I am, it really sets you up for this like switch in your brain.
I like that. And where do
Yeah.
you go to find your quotes, like your positive quotes? What's your go-to? Go find.
I love the Secret Daily Teachings. They actually have like a whole flip book that it goes through like 365 days. I keep that by my bedside. I actually have two copies. I keep another one in my office. And I just flip to a random quote and it kind of just, it always reminds me to like stay positive, stay focused. So I would say that, or like even like motivation .com, success.com is pretty good too.
And what's your go-to quote that you've been living by through this really uncertain period of time? Do you have a go-to one that people can probably, they might relate to?
I think right now for me, the quote would be like, my internal abundance creates my external abundance. I think a lot of times we look outside ourselves, especially right now. I think with everyone having to take a step back and really sit down for a second, they're like, whoa, I'm not my dog, I'm not my job, I'm not my spouse, and they're really having to take this look on the inside to figure out like, what else do I have here? What am I doing with my days if I'm not working? What am I doing with my days if I'm not at the gym? So for me, that always reminds me that like internal work is just as important as like external stuff.
Yeah. And a lot of people too, unfortunately, are going through, they're either quarantined alone or they're quarantined with a significant other or with a friend. And it's starting to weigh on a lot of people, especially I talked about this yesterday. We've had people writing in that are single through this time and
No.
going through the stopping dating, or they're with their significant other and the fight is starting to happen. Do you have any advice or tips for those people out there?
I'm only laughing because it's just I've seen so many memes about
Yeah.
like so Trey Kennedy did a hilarious one on couples. I don't know if you follow him. He's hilarious. He always does these. You have to watch it after, but
Yeah.
I would say the biggest thing is, and I believe this in life, no matter what, you should have separate lives, separate hobbies, like, and just try to work in completely different rooms. Like, I actually don't even, I'm quarantined with my fiance. I don't even see him. Like, even right now, he kind of did like a little knock on the door. I'm like, I told you I was doing this at 1. Like,
Right, right.
like he doesn't even know what's going on right now. So we just stay separate. And I think him working, me doing my thing, that really does help. Like space.
Yeah.
Space.
Lots of space. Even if you're in tiny apartments, find the space.
Yep. Yep.
People that have trouble, do they come to you if they're like, Chelsea, I just cannot be positive. No matter what it takes, I'm trying to be positive, but I keep falling back into, woe is me, why is this happening to me? Especially during this time when people are going through layoffs, or unfortunately, business owners too have to lay off employees. Poor Ashley had to go through that as well. But we're all trying to see the bright side. But sometimes at the end of the day, you're just, it sucks.
Yeah.
Point
you
blank.
know what? That's why God created alcohol. No, I'm just kidding. You know what? Honestly, I think at the end of the day, what's, as hard as that can be, everything put in your path is meant to teach you something and make you stronger and correct your course, really. And I've had a lot of times in my life where things shifted or things ended, and I didn't know why at that time. And then I look back on it and I'm like, wow, it really set me up for success, or it really pushed me to get, my health back, or it really pushed me to look at what I needed to work on. And so I think during those times, even though it's hard to stay positive, you really just have to remember that you're a human being and that you come first. And it's okay to like let yourself like be sad about stuff. Like let yourself give yourself a little pat on the back. Like with everyone trying to achieve and conquer, it's like take this time to just be like, you know what? It's not the best. It's not the worst. I'm gonna have a martini. I'm gonna take a bath. I'm just gonna chill. Like, because worrying doesn't help. You know what I mean? So all you can do is just be like, I'm thankful for at least one thing today, and then maybe it's your dog, but you find one thing.
What made you in your life want to help people be positive? Did something happen that you were like, oh, this is what I meant to do?
Yeah, so I think my whole life. No, I grew up in humble beginnings. Yeah, so I've had definite struggles in my life, just for a long time, and it took me a long time to come up just to get a job in sales and do normal things. Never mind try to like, really accomplish anything that was bigger or better or whatever. And I think what happened was between losing my health and when I had put on weight and I was working a desk job and I was so unhappy, but I was like posting pictures online like as if I were really happy.
Yeah.
It was like this weird thing. I just kind of woke up and I was like, I need to like lose weight, like not just off my body, but like off my mind. And then once I was able to come out of the darkness, that's when I was like, I want to help people come out of that, because I knew so much about health. I had never struggled with my weight and I couldn't lose weight. I just was trapped in this like very dark place. It's the only thing I can really call it, but it was true like mental exhaustion and like almost depression. So that's why I'm passionate about it, because I feel like if you find a way to do something, leave the door open for other people. That's what I'm about.
We have a question from Marwa from Vegas. Advice on confidence.
Stick your boobs out. No, okay.
Do that.
No, I think it's, you know what it is? It's believing in yourself. So your self-talk is everything. So many people in life are going to comment about your hair, comment about your eyes, comment about your face, comment about your weight. Like so many people are going to do that. Don't let one of those people be you. So you show up and love the shit out of your cellulite. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
show like whatever. Like you have to have that attitude in life or it'll get you down for no reason.
we don't need that.
No.
Do you have I know you have a daytime routine. You're big on routines, which we all, I feel like, to get into it. That's been our most common thing, I think, across the board is everybody is saying stick to a routine or develop a routine during this time because, as we know, we have the time.
Yeah.
But when you go to bed at night, this is when sometimes everything from the day can just hit. You're
Yeah.
like, why didn't I post on social media today? Or why didn't I try to pitch this idea to my boss? Or why didn't I get this done? Or why didn't I work out?
Yep.
Any time routine that you have to just make sure that you're going to bed on a positive note.
Sure. So one of the first things I would definitely say is as you're sitting there, rather than run back and think about all the things that didn't go right, run back and think about all of the things that did go right. And anything that pops up that didn't go right, like you were like, oh my God, I forgot. Like one time it's like the dumbest thing, but I forgot to send an email and I just couldn't stop. My heart was like, so I just
Yeah.
pictured myself doing it right and I was able to just relax. I mean, that was at like 3 o'clock in the morning randomly. I was thinking about it. Email, but you can actually walk through your day backwards and think about what went right and anything that didn't go right, just picture it in your mind, imagine it going right. And that usually calms you down. But one of the things I always do before bed is I write down 2 to 5 things that actually made my day. Like what really made my day, what made me feel happy about, this accomplishment. I'm glad that I did this today, this project, or I'm glad that I had this exercise routine fit in for the day. And then I always write down what would have made today better. And between those two questions, you'll figure out pretty quickly what you need to be doing every day to have your best day.
I feel like that's very useful.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people will go to bed and be like, oh, why didn't I do this today? I've been doing that lately too, but that's a good tool.
Yeah, I think definitely the last part too, like what would have made today better. I was constantly writing down, I wish I went to the gym. I wish I worked out. And it was like 40 days in a row. And I was like, when are you going to make time for this? Like, this is terrible.
Exactly. Vega did an actual a Q&A yesterday with Christina Gallardo. She's a makeup artist in Boston, and they were actually talking about too how we have this pressure on ourselves to get an hour of working out a day. And a trainer on there, she actually voiced it and said, you don't have to get an hour. Just try 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Try out 15 minutes, and at least you can say, at least I made that time to get that workout in that day too. So that could be another way to look at it too if people are putting pressure on themselves.
Yeah, no, that's perfect because I always say that too. Like I very early on in weight loss, I always tell people come up with a bare minimum. I don't care if it's like 5 crunches, but like you have to just do a little bit of something every day to build the habit and you don't have to kill yourself doing it.
Yeah. We have nurses at Vega. She actually just joined, so I feel like this is the perfect question, that also are working in the hospitals.
Yeah.
And it's weighing on them emotionally, physically. It's really tough for them right now, and we love them for doing that. And they're our heroes. Love you, Jenny. Love you, Sarah, Lindsay. And any positive advice just to give to them, or what would be your way to guide them through this time?
Well, I personally feel like they are highly protected at this time. Whatever you believe in, angels, gods, whatever. I mean, those are the people that really are risking their lives. And I know when I go to bed at night, that's who I pray for.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's probably one of the best things to know is that so many people are sending you love and positive energy and protection because I think we all feel for businesses shutting down, but I think even more so the people that are still going into work and like could be fearing for their actual health. So I think between that and also really coming up with a de-stress routine would be really good. So like even if you just come home and you listen to like a funny comedian while you take a hot bath, like just to flip your mindset a little bit, like, you know what, maybe it's crazy out there, but it doesn't have to be crazy in here. I'm just going to sweat this day off in this tub and like listen to something funny. So I would say something like that, like definitely decompress. But like, just know you're amazing. I mean, So amazing.
Love that. Any tips, Chelsea, that you didn't have to, I didn't ask, or if that you want to add in, basically about reframing your mindset?
Yeah, I mean, so I call this one like my Ron Burgundy exercise because
Okay,
it just like automatically
I'm here for it.
my like way of kind of noticing in the moment and around me like what I'm actually grateful for, because I think we just take little things for granted all the time. Um, so you basically want to look around wherever you are, even right now in this room. You can look around and you say, I love, and you can say, I love that plant. I love those curtains. I love, that sculpture. I love those books. Like you can say whatever it is around you, but try to come up with like 10 to 50 things around you that you love. And once you start doing that, it becomes a habit in your brain to just automatically you start to look for everything you love. So that's why I call it my Ron Burgundy exercise, because it's like, I love lamb. And it's kind of stupid at first, but after a while, you're just like, oh my God, I love that. I love that.
Right.
Yeah.
I do love that. Any questions for Chelsea? Throw them in the comments. Chelsea, if people want to reach out to you, if they need a positive, awesome person like yourself, especially during this time, who doesn't need that, how can they reach out to you?
So I would say you can definitely listen to my podcast on Spotify, Pandora,
Right.
Apple. I would definitely subscribe or download that. Chelsea Swift is your spirit animal. They can also go to chelseaswiftblog.com and they can just chat with me right on my blog. You can send me an email from my blog, and then also on Instagram, chelsea.swift. Just follow me there and DM me. I'm pretty good with getting back to people. So yeah, many ways to reach out and many ways to hear my voice without having to like, oh, I want to talk to her, but like, I don't know. So yeah.
Right. Is your podcast a weekly podcast?
So it's kind of like whenever I'm feeling the vibe type of podcast.
Okay.
I try to put out like a couple different like maybe like 3 a week, but if I'm feeling the energy, then I always try to put out more.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
All right. I'm so happy that we had you on today. I feel like we're going to go into this weekend very positive, develop that morning routine, nighttime routine. Get out your journals, people, and start writing stuff down.
Write stuff down.
Write out your positive affirmations. Yeah. That's the goal of the weekend. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, guys. Give her a follow. Thanks.